I mean, that's real 20, that's 25 in a nutshell. 2025 was the year of the snake. With the snake, you shed all your layers. I have a lot of pride for what I went through and now where I get to go from there. And being just the real version of me, I'm enough. Welcome to the Alex Perry on Fire podcast. And as 2025 nears the end, it's only natural that I think I would reflect on what this year meant for me. And it's been a crazy year. The first thought that comes to mind is on New Year's night, I said to myself, what do I want to work on for 2025? And it came to me. I wanted to remove fear from my life. And I had no idea what that even meant. But 2025 showed me. And it showed me in the best and worst possible ways. Because change doesn't happen without challenges. And change will not happen unless, in a lot of ways, you're forced to change. And I took that on this year. I've said, and I will continue to say, I am in human school. And I've learned that so much. We are all humans. And the more we relate to that, I think the easier it is to not take it so hard on ourselves, to be in a place of compassion, to say, this is the first time for a lot of things, or I feel this way because I'm just a human. And of course I'm going to feel this way, as opposed to trying to live to a level of perfectionism or a place where you're always trying to feel worthwhile and setting that bar way too high. And I speak for myself. That's what I learned this year. I've learned a lot, but a lot of it is I'm just human. And in going deeper with that, I would say there's a lot of compassion. A lot of compassion for myself. And when you see the guests that have come on the show, what they're going through and the resilience they've taken on, and to learn from them and other people in the audience who share their story. And as I further reflect on 2025, I think, what really is Alex Perry on Fire about, the podcast? And it started originally with this huge fire inside me and wanting to be this energy and excitement for not just myself, but the audience and everyone I came in contact with. And the world shows you differently. What I've realized this year is that the fire was unsustainable. The fire was real, but it wasn't going to keep going. And what I did is I brought in the feminine, water, to really extinguish the fire. How I brought that in was with yoga, talking about things, ice baths, regular baths, sound baths, listening, slowing down, being with myself. So many things that are feminine in nature. And that really extinguished the fire. I wasn't trying to do it. It happened. And through that, I had to build it back up again. But now the fire is different. The fire is way more calm, grounded, sustainable, even curious. And I'm excited to see what that looks like in 2026. In the world of spirituality, they said 2025 was the year of the snake. And with the snake, you shed all your layers. And in doing so, you also shed to the point where you can't see. And it's trusting in that process that the new skin will come. And with that, it's actually incredible because it's new light. It's a new way of being. It's a new way of living. And again, that old skin, it had, and it still may, but it had scars. It had past trauma. It had a past way of doing things. And what's beautiful is 2026 is the year of the horse. And with the year of the horse is calm energy, forward movement. I know horses can feel everything from a fly on them. So it's just like incredible awareness, sensitivity. But also, I always envision horses galloping, free, literally just free on a beach running or in the mountains. And it's the idea that you're not chained, that you can go wherever you want and go with confidence. Wild horses are majestic. They feel and look free, and it's forward movement. It's not looking in the past, and that's what's exciting to me. Again, is that I feel like it's earned as well. I feel like the shedding is a process. It's very uncomfortable, but if with that comes freedom and peace and openness, then I think most people I know, me personally, and a lot of people I know are willing to go through that. And whether you believe that or not, I think what's the real thing to hold on to is it's the story we tell ourselves. I was in yoga this morning and the teacher said 80% of thoughts are negative thoughts with most humans. 80%. That's crazy. And she said 95% of those are repeated negative thoughts. So we're repeating the same thought almost 95% of the times. And so with that being said, it's the story we tell ourselves. And so the story is that simple. You don't have to believe in the snake and the horse, but if you do, that's forward thinking. That's giving yourself compassion to say, yeah, this year was difficult, but this new year doesn't have to be. I control that narrative. I control where I take that story. And again, giving myself compassion for 2025, I have a lot of pride for what I went through, what I shared with the audience, and now where I get to go from there. I listened to another podcaster say something that really hit me the other day. And it was, if your life was a movie and you're the main character, what would the audience watching be imploring upon you? So for example, if it was a horror, would it be like, get out of the room? If it was a love story, it'd be like, look what's in front of you. Like, why can't you see it? And for me, the obvious was just let go of the reins. Just go have fun. Just see where the world takes you. Relax. Enjoy it all. Enjoy it all. You deserve it. You've earned it. And that's what life is for you now. It's the fun. And so I want to embrace that. And you can't just turn off a switch or turn on a switch. But I've built that trust within myself by going through 2025. And when I said earlier, looking into what drives me, the fears that were driving me, by facing those, on the back end is living the movie that you want to live, is living that character. It takes going somewhere that you might not feel comfortable with. It takes honest conversations. It takes vulnerability. All these things. But in 25, I learned that instead of acting that part, when you be that part, that's where you establish the trust. That's where you establish the, I can do this and I'll get through this. With community. With community, it's so important. I told my therapist the other day, I picture myself walking down a road, like a desert road, and all the people in my life that said, wow, you did it, and encouraging me and saying, congratulations. And she stopped me right in my tracks and she said, that's what's holding you back. And that's what will continue to hold you back. Because that's external validation. That's saying, although it's great that you have that community, do you need all those people giving you the high five, slapping you on the back, congratulating? What if you just found it within? What if you just said you can walk that road and know that you did the work and you did it for yourself? And I think that's where the self-love is. For someone who couldn't quite understand what loving yourself meant, I wasn't self-deprecating. I didn't hate myself, certainly not consciously at all. Subconsciously, for sure, not giving myself enough credit for everything in life, for just being. But that simple idea that you're enough, without all of that is groundbreaking for me. And I think everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own traumas. Everyone has incredible things that are going for them as well that I just said, let's focus on, which is what's the story we want to tell ourselves going into the new year. And so the idea is to just take a moment and pause. I was going so fast, I couldn't see what was in front of me. Nor could I see what was actually just going through me. And I think that's only natural. If you picture yourself driving on a highway going 100 miles an hour and you ask yourself to read a sign on the way, it's going to be damn near impossible. But if you slow down to 50 miles an hour or 30, you're going to read every single word. And that's also what I've learned. I've learned that in order to see the patterns that you're recreating, you have to slow down. It's just nearly impossible when you're going so fast or you have so many distractions to see what's being shown to you. But when you slow down, the pattern becomes obvious. It's awareness. Now, what you do from there is up to you, but it's like anything. You can't hit a pitch in baseball if you don't see it coming. When you know what it is, it gives you a chance to hit it. And the feeling you get when you see a pattern recreating that you don't want and you do something different is mind-blowing. Because in a world where we're taught two sides of the coin of we have no control and we absolutely have control, there's control there. There's the ability to make a change. And for people who have kids, the beauty is you can say, well, maybe I'm doing this as well and I don't want to do this anymore, and create that lineage, that pattern for down the bloodline. There becomes play in it all. So yes, through the mud, through some sacrifices, through some hardship, through some difficult conversations, through the not really knowing yourself at some point, that creates change. But on the other side of it, and I'm living it in this moment, so I'm living it, I'm coming out the other side, there becomes this play and the fire starts burning again. But it's just such a different fire. And that's still difficult. Coming to grips with not being the same fire, the same way you woke up with crazy energy that fueled you through the day. But was brought on by things that probably weren't mine. And a lot of distractions. And so I think, the fun in it all is you get into human school, back to human school. And school can be fun. I was going about it where I was just walking to class every day and trying to get as many notes as I could and studying and grinding in the classroom. And I understood it all in the mind, but nothing in the body. And what I wasn't doing in the words of school was I wasn't going to the stadium and going to football games. And I wasn't going to the fraternity and sorority parties. And I wasn't living in the dorm. And I wasn't engaging in other community at the school. And the second I started bringing that in, the fun happened. Instead of just the grind of trying to overlearn this and conceptually understand everything that was going on. It's not bad, but it's kind of better to think about it afterwards. That's why that happened. That's what I was doing. And again, it's just grabbing tools, your toolbox to say, okay, I'm glad I had yoga. I'm glad I had community. I'm glad I had friends. I'm glad I had family. I'm glad I put sound bath into my toolbox. Anything and everything. I'm glad I felt comfortable talking to someone or doing something different. And I think the idea of that is that it's a wave. We're never completely out of it, and we're never completely submerged in it. So to keep using those tools and understanding that will help us through these times. One thing I'd like to leave you with, and this helped me so much, is just having a little mantra that brings you to a place where it's forward movement, not looking back, and just kind of a place where you can kind of have a new identity going into the new year. And when I say new identity, It's something that just says, okay, this is the new version of me for 2026. And what mine is what would secure Alex do? Not old pattern, not the way I used to do it, not what used to give me highs, but in the cleanest, most simple way. If I was comfortable, if I fully trusted myself, if I knew that everything I wanted was coming my way. And that's why I smile. It's like the fear is the unknown. And so if I said, you're going to get the job you want, you're going to find the girl or the guy you like, things are going to clean up in whatever relationship you're at, financially, things will get easier, whatever it is, kids, you name it, in 2, 6, a year, how much would that relax you? And I think for me, that is the idea that if I sat in this chair and knew everything that I wanted was coming to me, what would I search for? What would come naturally to me? What would I go and seek out? Or what would I just sit back and say, I know it's all coming to me? I used to act out of a lot of anxious attachment. And I'm learning to love and really embody secure attachment. And the secure version of me isn't worried about the future. It knows that every day, if I stay present, the things that I want will come to me. And not just to me, in the best possible ways, in ways where I'm not searching for the old pattern or old disassociatives or distractions, but really just facing and loving who I am and knowing by just living in the present and being just the real version of me, I'm enough. One more thing I'm really enjoying, and it is almost play, but connecting with people right now has a different sense of value. Because when you listen to people, especially when they're sharing personal things or their story or what they're going through or what they've been through, we become such mirrors for each other. And by just listening, it can really give you insight to things that you might not be seeing, things you've already overcome and that you should be giving yourself gratitude for and compassion for. I think there's just a lot of fun in that when you take the time to really connect. And when I say that, I mean, be so present in the conversation. What might you learn about yourself through what someone else is telling you? And I've found a lot of play in that because it takes these conversations. And again, not everything is supposed to be deep, but it can take some surface level out of the life we live or the lives we're living and really just help you move forward in your day. And you never know when one little spark from someone in your day can change it around, can make you feel whole or purposeful, or just give you that release in yourself that you're like, oh, I conquered this. This is something that I've gone through and come out the other side. And I remind myself, when I try and grab the reins, when I go back to that old narrative in that film, it actually creates anxiety. It creates, oh, this is the old version of me. This is the version that everyone's seen on TV and is no longer rooting for. But the one that lets go the reins, the one that says, let's see what happens, it's a totally different movie. It's an old character meets new character. It's a lovable character. It's a character that's living to their potential. And I'm really excited to share that version with you in 2026. Thanks for listening. Thanks for going on this journey. And we're all in this together. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Alex Perry on Fire. It means so much to me and the wonderful team that makes this all possible. I'm now passing the flame to you. Please follow, like, and subscribe so you can always stay up to date. Thanks again, and stay fired up.